Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark back in the workshop on Mark's Aquatics for a little Sunday 10-minute video. What I'm going to look at today is I'm going to show you the sapphire tetras, the diamond tetras, the bronze cory babies, show you how they're coming along, and also the dwarf neon rainbow fish as well. We're going to check those guys out because they're getting a little bit big now and they're going to need a little bit more room and a bit more filtration. So we're going to have a little bit of a swap around in there in the next few days' time. What I want you guys to, one thing I was going to ask you guys is, on the last video, is if you can just drop me a comment on where you watch me from in the world, just out of complete interest. It'd be really nice just to know where you guys are watching me from. And like you say, no matter where it is, just put London or Sydney or, you know, Florida, wherever, with a thumbs up, and it'd be really nice to see where you guys are watching me from. Okay, other thing I was going to say, you can also go, if you look in my on my homepage, you'll see a link there to my Facebook group. Now, there's an amazing bunch of you guys on there now, which are all throwing each other questions, and it's become a right little hub. And of all you lot, people going in there, saying their problems, people helping each other out. I'm sorry I can't go do too much on Facebook because I'd never get anything done. I'd never make any videos for you guys if I started answering all the questions that I need to on here, as well as there. And don't forget my Instagram page as well. You can go on to Marks_Aquatics and follow me on Instagram, where I post up random pictures of things that happen in here which I don't put on the video. So go and hit me up on there and follow me on Instagram as well. That would be fantastic. Right, without further ado, let's have a look at some of the babies that we've been bringing up here in the workshop. You can kind of see different shapes in amongst them. They're just starting to get a different shape now from the fry stage, getting into that little sub-adult stage where they're starting to put on a little bit more size, starting to get the odd little speck of colour showing up here and there, and starting to get a few more of the characteristics of the parents. Still can't tell them apart as yet. I don't know if you guys can see any that look a little bit different to the other one. I mean, the sapphire tetras, they're going to start to show a little bit more pinky colour in them, and obviously the diamond tetras are going to get more silvery with those little holographic scales that they've got, which gives them their name, the old diamond tetras. So but they're doing really, really well, these guys. Super happy with them. We've had a really good success rate. Mortality's been really low as well, which is nice. It's only a small tank, this one, but I've been giving it regular water changes, probably I would say 3 or 4 times a week. I just drop about 10% out and refill it with conditioned tap water, and just refill it again and freshen it up for them. But I've got some freshly hatched brine shrimp here, so I'm just going to put a few in. You'll see them going in. There was an adult one went in there. I've just been sucking a few out of the of my little tank. I don't know if you watched my how to bring on the old brine shrimps. I did a video of that yesterday on how to bring them up to adults. So pop back and have a look at that if you're or interested in bringing those on. They do go through these very, very quickly, and they are actually on powdered food now. I've got some bug bites which I grind up very, very fine, and I'm starting to feed those to them as well. So I'll add a little bit of those in as well. You'll probably see it start to fall in a minute. And what they missed, they'll pick up off the bottom, and I've got a couple of shrimp in there as well, which do an amazing clean-up job. You'll see those going down, and they're on the dry food now as well, which is great. Although if you feed them brine shrimps, they tend to spit this stuff out quite quickly because they're brats and they're used to the good stuff, you see. That's what it is. But they're all doing extremely well. Now I'm going to move you across now onto the corys. I'll put some more, I'll just pause you a minute and reset you up. Right, okay guys, there's the corys. You can see there's a hive of activity there on the substrate of these little guys. We've had a really good success rate with these as well. I'll just put some freshly hatched brine shrimp in with these guys because they go absolutely bananas for them, as you'll see. Just pump a few of those in like that, and that'll keep them very, very busy for some time. You can get a better view through the flipper magnifier there as they go further back. We'll get some close-up shots in a sec, but I just thought I'd show you a a further back picture. I'll just shift that out of the way now, and you'll see them all chasing those little Artemia all around on the substrate, which I love to watch. You get these little luminous orange bellies in no time at all, and that's great when you're feeding fish to Artemia to your fish fry, because once they have ingested a few, you can tell they're eating them by the colour of their bellies, and that goes for all fry. So there's a little trick for you there. If you think your fish aren't eating, check out their little bellies, and if they're orange, they're eating them. But these little guys are absolutely everywhere. Since putting the adults back into my bench tank, they've spawned again. There's more eggs on the glass, but I'm just going to let nature take their course with those. There's a heavily planted tank in there, so touch wood, they'll make it, a few of them, so as they can hide in amongst the substrates. It's quite heavy, and lots of plants in there as well, but there's no end of them in there. Look at that, fantastic stuff. And that Artemia now will keep circulating around. They'll bounce around the bottom, and these guys don't just, they will actively take them out of the water column as well, believe it or not. Very, very busy, like little ants all over the place. I wouldn't hazard a guess how many's in there at the moment, or how many are on the sponge filter, behind the sponge filter, on the other sponge filters the other side. What I'm going to do now is I'll take you out the tripod. In fact, I'll probably lift the tripod up and we'll go in through the magnifier. There you go, there's a little guy there just zipping around on top of that filter. I put some micro worms in there also, and it's like a big dinner table for them. They love to come up the top, and the things that get caught on the top, they grab them and feed off them very, very quickly. You can see how much they've grown since we've done that, since I did that micro footage on them. And you never know, that could have been the one that I got up under that super close footage. That's a better shot, look at that. Thank you for staying still, my little friend. Starting to get those characteristics of the parents now. Those long little barbels are starting to come out. Yeah, they do make me laugh watching these guys. You can see the Artemia there just bouncing around, and where they're landing, this little guy's going to just hoover them up as he goes past. Anyway, I think what we'll do now is we'll go and have a look at the rainbow fish. Right guys, before I zip into the next little tank with the dwarf neon rainbow fish in, I don't forget, we're nearly at 20,000 subscribers, okay? I'm not sure on the exact amount now, but we're very close to it. And this is going to be for one of you guys only in the UK, I'm sorry. So if you're in the UK, make sure you leave a comment on the 20,000 giveaway. Just leave a comment on there, doesn't matter what it is, and the random picker will pick a winner out to win this lovely CO2 kit from JBL. Okay, there's all the dimensions and things. So if you've got a massive tank, you've got a small planted tank up to 400 litres, this will do you fine. It's got everything in there. So there you go. So let's go on to. I've done a couple of changes in this tank. I made a nice Rickia tree there, as you can see. And that Monte Carlo has gone absolutely bananas. You'd have thought I had that CO2 kit rigged up in here the way it's grown. Everyone says you need to have CO2 to grow this stuff, but that's just absolute rubbish. All you need is good healthy water, regular water changes, and a good light, and you're away. But those little rainbow fish are doing extremely well, and I've got to keep the camera further back, sorry, because they are so quick. And you can see now, if I move, they're going to be shooting all over the place. So I'm going to try and keep this as still as I can for you, at a reasonable distance. But you can see now they're starting to get their colours. Little yellow, orangey tails. Maybe if I come back a bit further, what I'll do is I'll put some brine shrimp in here, because these guys absolutely love them. Splash that water, and look at that. I think what I'm going to have to do shortly is move these guys into the bench tank, because they're getting quite big now, and that little filter ain't going to be enough to take all those growing up. So I'm going to move them over to to the big bench tank. And then what I've got to do, I'm going to go in and my little paludarium that I've got in my living room, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, I'm going to break that down, because it's getting to an age now where the plants have passed their best and it needs a real redo. And I thought that'd be an interesting one for you guys to see me slowly taking that apart and making something completely new out of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but that has got some amazing little chili rasbora, some little mosquito rasbora in there, which I've been bringing on for a good year. And I think I've got about 4 or 5 in there, so I'm going to put them in here and then we're going to breed them in here, I think. Get them going in here, move some of the shrimp out, because they're super tiny eggs they produce, and we'll get a bigger colony of chili rasbora going, which will be an interesting little trip for you guys to follow along. Anyway guys, I hope you like that little short video on little 10-minute video on the fry and the update on those, how they're growing. As always, you're all stars. Love you loads. Take care, and I'll see you on Wednesday for another edition of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.